Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Jakarta, Indonesia. It is the fourth and final game of the day, opening day at the FIBA Asia Cup 2022, and it's Korea taking on China. Well, Chinese Taipei won in this group earlier today impressively over Bahrain, and now it's China and Korea getting ready to trade blows, two traditional foes in the Far East. And no shortage of thrills and spills today. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mark Mills, and really, I don't think we could have asked for a better opening day here in Jakarta, Mark.
It's been breathtaking, to be honest, from the opening tip in game one all the way through to Indonesia picking up the amazing win in that last game against Saudi Arabia. And we just hope for the game tonight to finish off game day one in the style that we've become accustomed to.
Korea, thereabouts. You know, they've had the disappointment of being knocked out of the World Cup qualifiers. They've got a lot to play for here at this Asia Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. This is huge for them. They have a point to prove to a certain extent, and they've brought together a roster that can get that job done. You know, the likes of Raghunath on your screen there. He's going to play a pivotal role. It's just previously they've overused him. Can they manage his minutes a little bit more?
Well, he was the leading scorer by average at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup. That's how good he is. He is fearless, and he will need to be against China, who we don't really know what to expect from this team because of some of the COVID situations that hit them after their last trip to Australia for the World Cup qualifiers, the Asian qualifiers for the World Cup.
Yeah, for me, the biggest miss from that is going to be Zhou Qi missing. The big man was so impressive, agile, quick, relative, athletic for his size, and it's going to be interesting to see how Wang Zheling steps up to the plate.
Okay, we're going to have a pause in the commentary for the playing of the national anthems.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of China. Thank you, and welcome to Scrappy.
Well, always stirs the emotions hearing the national anthems. We heard it from Korea, then we heard it from China. I heard you doing the God Save the Queen just a minute ago. That was quite a stirring rendition, Mark, I have to say. And now it's all about basketball and all about these national teams. And again, they want to get after each other. They always do when these two teams play. And there's a certain, I don't know, what do you say? It's a Far East battle, a derby kind of atmosphere always when these teams play. And the team that starts slow could get punished today. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. We'll look at the referees and the starting fives.
It could certainly be an interesting game between these two teams. It's the two teams that you would say would be 1 and 2 in this group. But how that's going to position out, who goes 1, who goes 2, would be up for debate. And with Chinese Taipei's performance earlier today, you would then even question, are these 1 and 2 in this group?
Well, that man there, a lot of people know him as Ricardo Ratliff. Gunnar is a terrific player, rebounder, powerful force down low. Who do you think is going to be able to stop him in this China team? I guess Wang Jielin is going to have his handfuls trying to stop Rebounding.
Yeah, I think so. He's clearly going to be the direct matchup for him. But the interesting thing is they're very different players. The way they approach the game, Wang is obviously more traditional, big, back to the basket, and Gunnar is not.
Rebounding, Yevgeny Mikheyev, and Wissam Zain from Lebanon, Kazakhstan, and Syria calling the game tonight. Tell you, that last game is a tough act to follow. Home team winning here in Indonesia over Saudi Arabia. But Choi Chun-young, Heo Hoon, Kim Jong-koo, Ra Guna, and Song Ko-chang, the starting 5 for Korea. Coming off the bench, Heo Kang, Lee, Yang, and Lee, Chu. We got 2 Lees, a Zhang and a Yang. And, well, here's the coach, an experienced hand, well known in Korean basketball circles, Coach Chu. I'm sure he's got a game plan that's going to combat this size of China, though. If Zhou Qi is not playing tonight, which it appears he is not, that probably makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier, but it doesn't, you know, it just means there's going to be more minutes for other players coming off the bench that are still of a high quality for China. And you're absolutely right, Coach Chu. I'm sure he has a plan in place.
Sun Ming Wei, Zhao Rei, Zai, Chao Shun in that starting 5, and Coach Du Feng, obviously, with all of these reserves coming off the bench. Du Feng has been at the helm for a while now, been part of the coaching setup. And they gave a good account of themselves against Australia, from my understanding, in their World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, they did. I was lucky enough to be the commentator on that game, and for 3 quarters, it was just a toe-to-toe battle. And then, I don't know what happened in the 3rd quarter break, but China just came out completely limp into the final quarter, and Australia just put the jets on and pulled away from them. Absolutely, you know, destroyed China in that final quarter. But for those first 3 quarters, China looked very, very impressive.
So here we are, the last game of opening day, and it's China and Korea, traditional foes. And again, very excited to be bringing you the action. China looking to get back to the top of the podium. And Korea would like nothing more than to get to the top of the podium themselves. I would have thought before the tournament Australia were favorites to defend, and also the way they played in that first half. The way Jordan combated them in that second half makes me think, well, maybe it's not going to be quite smooth sailing for Australia in this tournament, but we shall see. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome. We're underway here in Jakarta. And the battle is on between China and Korea. And already a foul called from the Kazakhstan referee, a hold.
And it's interesting that China's starting five lineup is relative, I use that word loosely, relatively small in comparison to maybe where we would have thought it would have been. And certainly interesting that Wang is not starting in that five. Instead, they've gone with Fu instead.
And backing his way up and traveling was Choi. He was a part of that Korean team that reached the podium to beat the Tall Blacks in the third place game at the last FIBA Asia Cup. In the paint. All tied late in the first quarter. Lee bounce pass, Yang, good elevation, and ball hit out of bounds, so another chance. Impressive turnout, particularly by the China fans.
Yeah, they had the same when they played in the World Cup qualifiers in Australia. Pretty much wherever they go in Asia, China draw a big crowd.
There's some Korean fans here as well, to be honest.
Yep, we can definitely see some patches of blue throughout the crowd. It's been a very good opening day for Asia Cup.
At this end of the basket, there's where the Korea are attacking. They've got a lot of fans up in the stands here. And once again, Yang. And look at the steal, great work, Lee, and the tenacity. They stay with it. And could not quite get to go down. Hard to believe they didn't score. They had about 5 attempts. At the end of one, China 19, Korea 19.
So there's your shooting percentages from the first quarter. And, you know, as you said, Korea were absolutely putting so much pressure on, but not making that pressure pay. They were stealing the ball away. They were forcing issues, but not making that pressure pay. And although the game is tied, it feels like China has slightly more control over how the game is being played at the moment.
Yeah, it feels like Korea should be further ahead with those opportunities.
Yeah, I think so. I just don't think, yeah, the composure has left them at that kind of critical moment. They've stolen the ball away and then traveled about 2 or 3 times. It's just those kind of jittery nerves, but it is game day one, you know, and as I said before, they haven't been doing the qualification process for the World Cup, so maybe they are a little rusty, not quite in sync with one another yet.
You know, they seem pretty aggressive to me. That's what I like about some of their guys. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's Raguna, his impact on the team.
I think it's throughout the team. I don't think any of those players are stepping down from the challenge. In previous games that I've seen for Korea, sometimes they aren't putting enough intensity into the game. They aren't putting the passion that they obviously feel into action. But tonight they're stepping in. They're really stepping up and you know, creating some problems for China.
So download the Courtside app, scan it in, folks. It's got everything that you need. The Courtside 1891 app. From video streams, schedules, scores, right at your fingertips. So Lee, again, the pressure. Sun drives in, passes back out, and oh, that was a bad foul by Lee. It was almost like he intentionally made contact.
Yeah, it was a weird decision in that play. You know, the old mantra of don't foul the jump shooter. You literally couldn't have made a worse decision if you tried right there. But the chance for the 4-point play for China now, and for them to exert a little bit of a lead on Korea.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional, but just didn't quite have enough control challenging the shot. And Goods come out and really lit it up from deep. That was his second three, and now he goes to the line, as you said, for a 4-point play.
And from both of these teams' point of view, what they don't want to see is a big lead for the other team. They can't afford for there to be a gap opened out. And you just feel that they're going to trade leads here in this first half.
Raguna hasn't really got it going yet. That's one good thing for Korea. How about the three? He comes right back and strikes from downtown after fouling the three-point shooter.
If you're coaching him, that's the way you want him to respond to a mistake, you know, making an amends almost immediately.
They're definitely playing some tough D today, Korea. And Good does not make that three. So the ruling is that Sun intentionally stuck his leg out for the trip. So Good goes out, gets a breather. He's been their best three-point threat. Well, Zhao Rei as well as hit two.
The matchup I'm looking at now is Ra against Fu. They were so physical in that last possession. The ball didn't go anywhere near them, but they were both wrestling so hard. I'm feeling that's going to be an interesting battle. As China are clearly their ploy with Raguna is the physical. It is to go after him. It is to rough him up as much as they can.
Looks to me sometimes when Korea catches the basketball, they kind of hop. Do you see that?
Yeah, they almost hop into their dribble. Yeah.
Yeah. Which puts them in danger of having this travel call. But
well, it clearly shows where their steps are. They don't get any kind of gray area.
Oh boy. Raguna. I mean, that is about as powerful as you're going to get.
And Fu is putting absolutely everything into defending that. There is nothing more that he can do in that situation. And Ra is just pure strength. No wonder he gave him some tickets to the gun show towards the bench.
He might have got away with a little bit of his left elbow, but
yeah,
I guess it wasn't overly blatant.
I think the thing the officials look at as well is how is the defender playing that position? Is he being passive and just being pushed out the way, and therefore it looks more like a foul, or is the defender giving as much as they're getting?
Korea just 1 of 4 at the free throw line. Look at him get on the floor. Boy, these teams really want it, don't they?
Yeah, we've seen it all day. It's great to see so much passion for the Asia Cup.
Hill. Ra powers his way, and once again, and this time, does not finish. It surprised me.
It's interesting, China are now rotating through their bigs, trying to wear down Ra. That's clearly what they're trying to do, trying to take some of the energy out of him for the second half of the game.
Good passing, and Zhao Rei's third three. Oh no, excuse me, that wasn't, that was Jai Chaotuan. Bounce pass Raguna, he's not gonna miss that. Old school. Just lays it up and in. He's got 11 points. Back over to Fan Zimming. Zhao Rei, and that time well short. And well, they were both going for the basketball. And a foul called on Jai for the push.
And Lee Woo-suk does a great job there just to make his presence aware behind the shooter, just enough to kind of make him change his shot slightly. And that one came up short.
I'm impressed by Korea. I mean, they have really kind of just, it's kind of like they flipped the switch a little bit from a physicality standpoint. And they've really taken the fight to China, but now China take it right back. And that's a frustrating turnover. Boy, 20, I mean, He Zhenning just took it over. Look at this.
Just a matter of wanting it more in that situation, isn't it?
A little bit of a surprise press.
But you're right about your comments with regards to Korea. It's, you know, it's almost like they've got a different identity in the way they're going to approach this game. I think they're going to have to sub he out because he maybe blood substitution for him.
The thing is, Korea's not settling for threes.
No.
They're really attacking. They want to make China work on defense.
Yeah, which is great to see. You know, it's not the Korea we're used to. You know, they're much more a perimeter game, obviously with the exception of Ra, who steps in and does a lot of the dirty work historically for Korea. But this time it feels like the team are taking on a lot more of that burden from him.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't really have to. I mean, we haven't seen him exert himself like we normally do.
No, I can remember, you know, numerous times covering Korea, and you watch Ra, and just by the third quarter, he's just looking exhausted because he's had to take that front court battle almost on his own shoulders alone. And that doesn't seem to be the case today, which could be a real new dawn for Korea basketball.
So that was a good play in the backcourt there by China to come up with the steal and get fouled and go to the line. And yet another good one here at the FIBA Asia Cup. And once again, scan that in, courtside 1891, to get your video stream schedules and scores.
Traveling like those, pressure, turnover, reduce the turnover, everyone.
좀 심리적으로 너희 쫓긴단 말이야. 그러지 말고 그다음에 첫 번째 트랜지션 할 때 윙맨들이 가다 쓰지 말고 여섯 같은 데로 움직여줘. 두 번째 상대 팀 파워를 지금 활용을 못한다고 완연한 개념으로 하란 말이야.
These two are so evenly matched, though, within this game. Neither team having a lead bigger than 4 points. It kind of really signals that, looking at the schedule, we kind of looked at this one and went, that's going to be a pretty close game. We think China have probably got a little bit too much power for them, but I think this one could go all the way. Both teams really two heavyweights going at each other right now.
And Heyo not being pushed around by Zhu, and they're going to have to separate them. And the physicality, it's kind of like, again, the attitude of Korea. I like it. It's still gonna, they're gonna take the fight to China. They're gonna hit right back. That's what it is right now. Oh, look here, saw a moment where he could get in. What a move. He exploded.
Yeah, just the switching for China completely fell apart.
Look at that.
They looked to switch, but
yeah, Jai, you can't just leave.
Yeah, Jai just turned away way too early. Guard.
Absolute blinder of an opening day at the Asia Cup in Jakarta. I mean,
yeah, usually you think game day one, teams feeling each other out, they're just trying to find their feet.
Two were pretty decisive, yet those games were still really good.
Yeah, even though they were clear winners, you still had real good fights within them.
Interesting point guard for China, bringing it up the floor anyway. Hu Ming-shin. Here's Jai. Is he going to make amends for that last trip? No, he's not. And here's a guy that can rebound and run, Choi. And Kim Jong-kyu fouled down. Oh, no.
No, offensive foul.
Kim Jong-kyu.
Yeah, and Kim was just a little bit over physical, trying to, you know, utilize that mismatch, being guarded by Sun. It's almost 20 centimeters difference between the two. He's trying to maximize that, but again, too physical.
Sun gets it back. Uh-oh, you know who can shoot it? That man, and Korea lit to tell the tale that time. Hood chin. Look at Ra with the ball handling skills.
I love the fact that the 8-second violation was just around the corner and he's still calmly just little spin move on the half.
And Hale again drives in and puts it up and in with the left hand, the other Hale. Wide open, three-pointer. Raguna. Choi quickly up the hill. Doesn't hesitate. Bangs down a three.
And you can see what that means. They know how important that shot is. It's giving them their game-high lead of 6 now. And Korea just starting to take control of this. They're starting to wrestle the tempo of the game to the way they want it to be played and imposing their style onto China.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that China really wanted to run, but you can see the quick strike attack by the counterattack, so to speak, for Korea also is preeminent in their thoughts. And this is Hale getting in. Well, Korea go up, a little bit full court pressure here, making Sun work to get it up, and he does indeed.
Yeah,
and Hale reaches around and fouls.
It was, the footwork was phenomenal. The footwork was absolutely textbook, and that's the kind of footwork you would love, you know, to teach kids. But then the arms come into the defense, and he just didn't need to put those arms in. He didn't need to reach in. He'd done a great job on basically forcing China into a position they didn't want to be in, pressed against the sideline, and then just gets them out of jail with you know, trying to steal away by reaching over.
Sun from downtown. Part of their problem has been some poor shooting from deep. So if they start getting hot, China, it could be a different story. Lee able to get it to Raguna before he fell over. Kim Jong-kyu, and now he drills a three with a salute.
Yeah, one of the most impressive things of Korea's game is the celebrations they have every time they hit a jumper now.
Spent a lot of time in Korea now. Coming right back, good. I think he's their most dangerous three-point shooter tonight. 3 for him. Here's Choi. Boy, so much contact.
That's an easy call. That's an easy call. Choi didn't even hide the push, just shoving his defender into the screen. It's a really easy call for the officials to make. Just, yeah, shoved he into Ra, right in front of the official as well.
This is where Korea can't let up at this end of the floor. They got a D and they've got a rebound. China, are they going to start attacking more, driving to the basket? They go right at Raguna, and Raguna can't get the rebound. It was batted around there. That was a tough catch. Uh-oh, not who you wanted to shoot it, but they, I would suggest, got lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the odds are that that was going down to tie the game up, but sometimes uncontested threes are tough for players to make. Too much time to think about it.
Here dribbles through the defense, hands it off. Oh, Kim Jong-kyu's got to finish that.
Yeah, he has. That's a great handle to get the space, but
look how quick Sun gets it down the floor. Oh, Fan. How about the big fella?
Steps in for the long jumper, and it's just how fluid the Chinese offense was that was so impressive there. They just moved the ball. They knew where they were spaced, and they knew how they were going to run that transition, and it paid off.
Lee, bounce pass, Ra, great footwork, takes the body though, and Fan kind of owned him on that. That's his spot, and he's not going to miss 2 in a row. Good is good. And China back in front, 39-37.
And you just have a feeling this game is shaping up to be this way for the full 40 minutes of momentum swing after momentum swing as teams just grab 2-3 minutes of control before having to hand it back. And you see the body language of the two teams completely swapped within 2-3 minutes. Korea now slumped shoulders whilst China, you know, pumped and high on how they've changed the game.
Does this qualify as a ding-dong battle?
I think it's verging on the ding of the dong.
대현이 종기도 바꾸죠. 얘들아, 뭐 지금 뭐 승부처도 아니까 흥분하지 말고
Right now,
플레이를 해 하는데
do our play, guys. Focus one by one.
지나이 심하게 하니까
Don't deny so much.
길게 하면서 이런 것도
That's how they're getting their point.
길게 이게 움직이면서 오케이? 그다음에 지금 스윙할 때도 마찬가지고
Same when we do swing.
자 드리블 무브 한 다음에 핸드업 하잖아. 뭐 스크린 해지고 또 움직이고 하자고. 여기서 이쪽 스크린 없어. 서브 정리해. 오케이? 형 거나 포스할 때 나머지 한번 보고.
It's interesting in that timeout. It's almost as Coach Chu is saying, you know, over-denying, over-hedging is giving China their space to operate. So interesting now to see how do Korea react to that. Are they not going to try and push back on the screens? Are they going to play them a little bit straighter? Are they going to ask, you know, are they going to go over the screens rather than under them?
So for the second time, Korea go the other way, thinking a foul has been called on China, and instead, a foul has been called on Korea. And you can see Choi still doesn't realize, it's just dawned on him now. So the foul was on Lee. And they turn it over though, Song has it. Competitive juices are flowing in this game. Raguna takes it down low. He stays with it. Great job by Fan Ziming. You don't see too many people stop Raguna, and he's done it twice. Zhao Rei. Boy, talk about hostilities between these two teams. This is at an all-time high between these two.
Yeah, it's starting to boil up a little bit, and as we experienced in the previous game with Saudi Arabia, we just hope that these two teams keep it in check, because the passion is important. It absolutely drives a great game, but it's got to be channeled.
Zhao Rei, such a good shooter from three-point range. One of the great mysteries in this sport. And you put him at the free throw line with nobody guarding him, and he misses. Misses twice to drive home that fact. And Song almost losing his handle on that. Picks up the dribble. Lee Dae-sung fouled over there right in front of the Korean bench, the Korean coach.
It's almost China's turn now to overplay that screen situation, with Fan just over-committing
He makes the first, so it's interesting exchange throughout the game that you see with the players going up to the referees and just kind of, you know, it's how you deliver it. And look at that Choi, who I'm talking about, gets it back outside, and then the ball misses, and an opportunity, another opportunity for Korea.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with regards to communication with the officials. As long as you speak to them at the right point of the game, when there's a bit of a quiet moment in the game, you don't come screaming at them in the height of the action.
Yeah.
They'll happily talk to you about why they made the call.
To dump the song, he needs to get it back out because now China are doing a great job of collapsing, and well, Choi, who just is the player I was talking about and delivered his message, gets the call in his favor. But I think this is a good call. Look, he flashed right. I mean, he hits him on the arm.
It's absolutely the right call. It's just poor defense at the end of the day. Didn't manage to stifle his forward momentum, and like you say, catches him on the arm, and then there's body contact as well, so makes it doubly easily for the officials.
So the first of 3 free throws is short. The second is good, and the third is coming. Although I think China want to take possession. These two teams in the same group as Bahrain and Chinese Taipei. So I think we got some more tasty encounters in this group.
We really have, and your mind already fast forward. The team tonight who loses makes the game against Chinese Taipei absolutely massive for them. It makes it a huge game, a real must-win game if they want to progress.
And taking the 3 and missing. Well, here comes, that was good. And now it's Lee in Korea. Choi doesn't mess around, but that's long, great rebound. Boy, the toughness of that man right there. One of the newcomers, relative newcomers, I should say. And, well,
it hit the ring.
Violation, yeah. So who did it go off of? Okay, China ball.
Just entering that kind of scrappy phase now. Both teams know that this is kind of a big 90 seconds leading into locker room. If you take momentum in, there's definitely an edge coming out into the second half, but we're seeing here it's leading to just really ticky-tack fouls from both teams.
Well, Korea did go up by 6 points, but China came right back, and now it's tied again. And Raguna with another rebound. Leaves a handful. Ra for 3. And the pass up ahead. Look at Fan Ziming run the floor. The big fella.
Got to reward him, the big man getting out and running in transition. You've got to find him the ball if he's going to put that effort in.
Lee, offensive foul, throwing an elbow. Right at Sun. That was Fan Ziming getting up on the break.
Gotta love that. When you see a big man put the foot down on the gas and haul his big body all the way up the floor, it's great to see, and it's even better when it's rewarded by the guards.
China's biggest lead in this game has been 4 points. And now Korea extending their D and forcing the turnover.
It's really interesting watching these two teams go against each other. Their styles just seem to neutralize one another. They're relatively similar styles in the way they're playing the game now. Like we're saying, Korea being far more physical than they have historically, but they're matching up so well against each other. It's a really great way for us to close out game day one.
Yep, Choi taking the contact. Boy, just a lot of contact from both teams. And the drive and the finish from Sun. And now China have a chance to have their biggest lead of the game. He was reaching in. He got a lot of ball, the top of the ball, but I think just the fact that he was reaching in is what got him that foul.
But this is the problem you have. He's played 18.5 minutes out of 19.5 minutes. And naturally, as a player, when you're starting to fatigue, you play defense with your hands rather than getting your footwork right. That's the first thing that goes, and that's when you're going to pick up those kind of fouls. Normally, he would have slid across, got in front of him, stood tall, and created a problem for him that way.
The Da-hyun in the game. Oh, and nobody boxes out. And how in the world did China not come up with another basket? Korea just completely fell asleep.
And there's that fatigue kicking in again. It's been a tough physical first half. You know, you look at the minutes on the box score that players have played, but the physicality of this game, you can probably add another 30–40% really to what they've put in.
Final 10 seconds of the first half. Corner three! Instead of waiting around, Heo-eung drilled it, and now China, well, that would have counted. They called the foul. Korea thinking the contact was initiated by Zhao Rui. No. I mean, it kind of got clipped by the Korean, but that was the three-pointer that pulled the gap, closed the gap to 1. Zhao Rui, third miss in a row at the free throw line. And we just saw Korea fail to box out on a missed free throw. Let's see if they give away something here. No, because he makes the free throw. So 2-point game. Yang coming back into the game. Number 21 Lee goes out. Raguna has to launch it, and oh, he almost made it.
That would have been a killer way to finish the first half.
What a fantastic opening 20 minutes. It was physical, but it was fun. China lead it 45-43 over Korea.
And no real surprise that the shooting percentages will be very, very similar, as we only have a 2-point ball game at the half. Both teams really cancelling each other out, but in a really attractive way for the spectators to watch it. Very little between them. Interesting to see Korea there, though, with 7 steals. That's a huge amount of pressure they're putting onto China.
Zhao Rui leading the way. We got it for you. These two teams, Korea and China, in the last game on opening day, on game day 1, and battling, and Korea going up by 6 points.
An interesting thing to see here as well, and is I wonder how this will play out. China at the moment have only run a 9-man rotation, whilst Korea have gone all the way down to 11 men. Interesting, we haven't seen Wang Jiling into the game as well. I presumed he was going to play a big part. I'm also presuming there is a reason that sits behind that, the fact that maybe he has an injury or something that's precluding his participation. In the recent World Cup qualifying window, he played a big part, so we'll see, but it's just been such a wonderful, like almost an advert for the game. Physical, but the right side of physical. They've both been passionate, hustling hard for every possession, and some fundamentally great basketball.
Yeah, Fan, I think Fan has actually come out and has done very well for China.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and particularly on the defensive end. One comment I would have from Korea's side is that I want to see Ra being more aggressive, go to the basket. You know, when you get possession, yeah, he wants to be the facilitator, but there's times in the game when Korea could just really do with him being a little bit more aggressive and direct with his offensive play.
Did seem like Korea wore down a little bit as a team and weren't really attacking the basket as much as they were earlier in the game in that second quarter.
Yeah, it certainly changed. It certainly changed the dynamic of where they were playing from. They were looking to take more jumpers. They weren't playing such good transition defense. And fatigue on certain members is definitely going to play a part. Obviously, Ra Guna, 19 minutes already. And Choi playing nearly 15 minutes. That's going to have an impact as we get into the second half. When you look across to China, the highest player there is he who's played 16 minutes. So how they balance this rotation is going to be key, not just for today's game, but for, I imagine, the whole of the tournament.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Come on. The pass intercepted. Here he comes. Get ready for takeoff. Get out of play. A little windmill action. So drives again and finishes in emphatic style with a little bit of a stare. The left-handed jam. You don't find many quarters finished like halves finished like this. Somebody's on a poster.
A close first half here in Jakarta, and Gunnar, as always, leading the way for Korea. 11 points in that first half. An impressive performance, inside-outside game for him. He's certainly being challenged physically, though. China not stepping back from the challenge. They're throwing numerous bodies at him to try and slow him down. It's worked, but he still has 11 points right now and imposing himself on the game. Just the pure strength that he has is difficult to stop. An impressive first half for him, and one of the reasons why it's such a close game. 11 points, 5 rebounds. Only 5 from 13, though, shooting 39% from the field. Not his usual high efficient standard. Expecting more from him in the second half. As for China, 2 leading scorers, really. We've got Gu on 13 points, 4 from 8 from outside. He really has put on a shooting clinic from downtown today. Impressive 1 from 1 from the free throw line, alongside 2 rebounds as well. Playing a little over 11 minutes, and to put on those kind of numbers in that time frame is very, very impressive. Interesting to see if Korea chase him off the perimeter a little bit more aggressively in the second half.
I really don't know. I mean, you just kind of feel like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking Korea are going to wear down, and maybe we saw signs of that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we've seen the most intense play that we've ever seen from Raguna. Maybe he's going to save a little bit for the second. Maybe he saved something. I just don't know. I don't know how this game's going to go.
Yeah, no, at the moment they seem to be cancelling each other out. They're playing similar styles. Korea are playing a lot more aggressive than we're used to, and that's why I think we have such a close game. The thing that I love is we have a pretty high scoring game, considering how physical the game has been. Usually physicality leads to a bit more of a war of attrition in a low-scoring game, but we've been treated to some great shooting. But I agree with you. I want to see Raguna just be more aggressive, go after it, go to the basket. We've seen glimmers of it, and at times, no matter who China put on him, they don't have the upper body strength to really stop him doing what he wants to do, but he seems too passive at the moment.
Who's impressed me is, number 31, Jang for Korea. And Kim Jong-kyu isn't quite the physical player. I'm not sure for this game, but...
yeah, there's certain players in the build-up that you were expecting to come in and be a bigger part of the game or have more influence on the game, but it's almost flipped. We've seen some other unsung heroes coming in and taking some of the limelight away, which, again, you know, that's not a bad thing. In tournament play like we're in, you can't rely on 1 or 2 players to take you all the way through a tournament. You need to lean on that team ethos, and both of these teams seem to be doing it. They seem to be, you know, trying to use their rotation, trying to use their depth to help them.
Well, I don't think the coaches, especially the Korea coach, can be unhappy with how that first half went. He might think that maybe Korea should be in front, but the effort was off the charts for those guys.
Yeah, I think he'll be content. I think, like you say, he'll be slightly frustrated that they trail by 2 at this stage, because they've given up some wide open shots. They've given up some easy lanes to China that they could have closed out. So he won't be, you know, ecstatic, but being down by 2 and the way they've played would certainly be quite a good place for them to be right now.
And on the other hand, I think Dufeng must be pleased with some of the guys in his squad.
Yeah, and you only have to have a look at his reaction while he's coaching. He's certainly not one to hide his emotions. You know exactly what he's thinking and feeling on the sidelines, and who's in his good books and who's on the naughty list whenever he's coaching. And he seems pretty content. There's frustrations, clearly, but all in all, he seems pretty happy with how his team have gone about it. Again, a few mistakes maybe, but, you know, both coaches won't be unhappy. It'll just be down to this 20 minutes now.
Yeah, I think from the free throw standpoint for China, just 5 of 10, probably just a little disappointing, especially from most of those from Zhao Rui, 1 of 4. And for Korea, they're just 5 of 11. And I don't know if that's symptomatic of the way the game is being played for some of those guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, you know, with it being such a close game, when you head to the free throw line, they're kind of more important, they're more valuable to your team. That's going to play a part on it. But you just don't know. You don't know the anomalies that sits within that. Like you say, it's strange that both teams have got pretty similar free throw shooting percentages at this point.
Well, China thriving more off the Korean turnovers. They've got 10 points off of the 11 Korean turnovers, and Korea just have 5 off of the China turnovers, but Korea have had the biggest lead in the game of 6 points. China have led by 4. 14 lead changes. And again, I mean, traditionally maybe not surprising with Raguna in this team. 18 points in the paint for Korea, but it's not just been Raguna that's been scoring him in there.
Now, it's not just been low post kind of grinding your way to the basket. There's been a lot of cuts and slashes to the basket for Korea. And like you say, a lot of that coming from the backcourt.
And really, I think both of these nations, you know, during the pandemic, obviously affected a lot in terms of them getting on the court and whatnot. And hey, get that Asia Cup app, folks, the FIBA Asia Cup app, download it, use the barcode, all the latest news and information. So I think they're just I think this Korea team is just really excited to be here more than anything.
Yeah, I think they're really enjoying being back on the floor, and particularly in a challenging game like this. Like you say, a traditional competitor for them against China. How many times have these teams met, you know, and another chance for them to go head to head with them?
So it's interesting that Fan Ziming is going to start with Ra Guna out there. Also, Hu Chun is, well, number 12, the sharpshooter. And Zhao Rui also starting. So both sharpshooters out there for China. And Sun, the pacey guard. So second half is underway in Indonesia, in Jakarta. Last game of the day here on opening day. Raguna turns. And again, it does seem like he's settling more for jumpers. And look at that pass. Because you might even think that Raguna might be able to like blow past his man and get in there for a reverse layup. And the ball goes out of bounds. Let's see who goes off of. That's a 50-50 right there, but China's going to get the basketball. Sun trying to pull his way over hill, and Raguna there for the rebound. I think Sun probably should have done better there.
Yeah, he'd done the hard work. You know, he'd used the physicality to get to the space he wanted to be in, and the finish just wasn't quite right.
Now Hale just takes it right back to him, right back at him. He wanted the foul as well. He's like, you're not going to pull me down here and not think I'm not going to go do it to you as well. Sun, Zhao, Gu, Fan, and Hu on the court for China. And Raguna rebounds to miss 3. Lee goes end to end. His shot is swatted out of bounds, but he is fouled. Direct basketball. You got to love it.
Yeah, and both these teams, you know, they've asserted themselves here, trying to go, yeah, easy call for the officials, as I think it was Zhao steps across. But there's the finish off the glass for Hyo. And that's a familiar sight that we've seen today in pretty much every game.
Saw Hyo saying he should have had a trip to the free throw line, but when does the player not say he should have gone to the free throw line?
I think it's 101 in training. You learn those faces.
Immediately appeal for a foul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Work on referee. Lee makes the first, and Korea give us our 15th lead change. And sinks both. Hu Mengxing brings it up the court. Nope, now he hands it off rather to Zhao Rui. Here's Hu. Zhao Rui probes. Back outside. 5 on the shot clock. Oh, missed the travel. And Zhao Rui drives in. That would have been a terrific make if he had made it with his left hand. Here's Lee, hands it off. And that's much better from Kim Jong-kyu.
No real surprise. Coach Du calling the timeout there. It's a really tough start to the third quarter for China. Not the way they would have wanted it. And Korea have come back out with that high energy, very direct style of basketball.
I'm going to talk to some people after this game, and unless I'm mistaken, but this just looks like a different style of Korean game that I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, it definitely does. A lot more aggressive, a lot more direct.
3空间没有就跳起来杀下来，他要走啊，从这里啊，李不养活，全是空间，你不养活他协防。这时候别想这空位就出来了，好不好？不要想着玩了，好不好？啊，再打的简单一点，内容掩护啊。因为你想，小胡顾前跑完了走了，小胡传你，小胡在这里，你在这里，这里防守权不要里踢，没空间啊。啊，那个。 走个牛角下，先传那个谁？
Well, it's games like this where it really is all hands on deck for both teams. It's interesting. 17 points off the bench for China, 16 points off the bench for Korea. Just one interesting aspect of this game. It's just very even, very level.
Yeah, very little separating, but what starts to the second half, a 6-0 run to get things underway for Korea. Exactly what they would have wanted.
Hu Mengxing, wearing the number 23. Has it taken away, no. Fan Zemin gets it, and Jong-kyu with the rebound. Kim Jong-kyu starting to come to the party here in the third quarter. Laguna out to Kim Jong-kyu, and that was very physical defense. Again, Kim Jong-kyu. I think you gotta put the ball on the deck and go. I don't think he's going to blow past those guys, but he did enough to get the foul called.
And that's the key, you know, sometimes you know you're not going to get the shot away, or it's going to be, you know, a really difficult shot, but it's about you're being direct, you're forcing them to create confrontation, you're forcing them to foul you.
Kim Jong-kyu disappointed he's not going to the line. Well, we've seen Korea in this position before. They nudge ahead, only for China to come right back. Bounce pass to Ra. Laguna backing his way up. Back outside, Kim Jong-kyu for three, that's short.
And they've got to make it pay. If Ra's going to put that amount of energy into a play, they need to make it pay.
Zhao Rui for three. And, well, a 6-point swing. And all of a sudden, Korea lead by just one. Song, his penetration has been good. Passes it back outside. Shot clock about to expire. Hey, lets it fly. The effort on the board. Great effort by Lee, but he can't put it up and in.
That was really against the odds, that rebound going in against two Chinese defenders, but couldn't get the finish in the end. Quite frustrating, but for Korea, it's just a symbol of, like you say, how they've changed their style.
Wow, Fan Zemin gets in, follows up his miss. Makes the pass. China back in front. Hu Chin, who's been electric from long range, scores down low. Guna for three. Wow. He looks at the China bench and shows the three-point sign. As if you might take my interior game away from me, well, I'll just step outside. Ray into the corner, and how big was that shot by Raguna? Seems to have been pretty big. Here he is now. He's going to go to work down low. And here comes China after the air ball, and Sun misses the layup incredibly again. Raguna gets down low and one. He's not going to fail twice in a row.
And you felt that roar from here, and he was so determined as well. You saw him bring the ball up over the half, and it was only going to wend down one way with him just going pure strength. This will be a great camera angle for it. There's the passion.
Substitutions. And Raguna goes to the line. He has, well, 16 points, 8 rebounds. Typical Raguna type numbers.
But I love that aggression that he's just shown in that last play, because it's what's been lacking for me from his game today. He's been happy to be more distribution than actually physically trying to dominate the game, and Korean need him to be that player.
That's just a silly foul from Choi. Tell you, one of the rare players out there chews a lot of gum during the game, doesn't he, Choi?
Yeah, unbelievable amount.
Smacking it.
Yeah.
Smackalicious.
Some more baseball-esque than basketball.
Huh? They play baseball there. He's probably got a good arm on the mound. Boy, China, how many layups are they going to miss? Getting right to the rim and just not putting it in. Heo and hands it off, and going to the line is Kang Sang-jae.
It's not rocket science the way Korea are approaching this game. It's pretty much identical every time we come down the floor. Find the slightest lane and just attack the basket and try and draw the fouls. Yes, they want the score, but almost more so they're going after the fouls. That's the second Chinese player to pick up their third foul as well.
And the lead goes back to 5. What a battle between these two foes from the Far East. Very nice stroke at the line from Kang. And they've equaled their biggest lead of the game, 6 points. Jiang in the game now, number 29 for China. And Sun, wow, that almost went in. And look at Choi diving, but he couldn't save it from going out of bounds.
He did all the hard work, but just spilled it out of bounds. And it's those plays that, in such a close game, you look back on afterwards, that can make or break a game. Just that extra possession.
Oh, nice pump fake, and Jiang. And China missing some open looks from inside, from outside, but at least they get it back. Penetration, drive, and again another miss. This one by Hu Ying Jiang.
And that's the double-double for Raguna.
Heo, his pass whipped inside. Stole, look at Sun go behind his back. Brings it up. Jiang for 3. Finally!
That's a big shot, and China have been threatening that in this quarter. We've seen glimmers of it, but they've not quite connected, and it's worrying for Korea because you feel that there's some momentum swinging towards China now and that they might get on a run.
Three-pointer, and he gets it right back. Third three of the game for Raguna.
And puts him in the holster as well. He's enjoying the show as much as the game right now.
He's been doing that all game, hasn't he? Something. Jang, who just hit one, passes and over to his teammate, number 27, Fu Hao.
It's not the prettiest of shooting actions for Fu, but 2 points is 2 points.
Oh, nice bounce pass. Choi, and this time, Kang's turn to miss a layup. See if that's a momentum swinger. Three-point shot. Well, this time, not able to make it, but good hustle from He.
And that was a good chase out by Choi on the three. You see the no-look pass to Ra for his triple, but it was the chase out for Choi at the other end that was impressive. And it's going to be absolutely necessary.
That was the three, pull up on the break. Fu goes out. Sun goes out as well. Jang. And
you'd almost started your sentence then. You'd almost got into it because it's the expectation. And rightfully so, the way he shot the ball today, you're expecting it to drop almost every time.
This time Ra doesn't take the three, just drives in and scores. And he's having words with the Chinese players, who are kind of looking on with a chuckle.
Yeah, I think one of the assistant coaches wasn't so happy with his words, but the players didn't seem bothered.
China another miss, and Ra quickly up the floor. Oh, Lee, how in the world was that not a foul or a travel? Gosh, they let him play. Lee again somehow able to stick with. How did he get it back? Choi, look at China's defense, and Choi gets it back again, and he puts up a three. And great rebound, Kang gets it to Raguna, and he misses the layup. And they're not going to miss that one.
No, the other end of the floor, and this is where the fatigue for me is now going to start to set in for Korea. You're starting to see players not being able to chase back as hard on transition D, and that could be where China's rotation and using a deeper roster will help them.
Lee's got to watch the arms. Puts it up, and a big shot.
And instead of drawing the foul, Jang gets the warning for the flop.
Ooh. Now he's got to watch the arms. Good reach by Lee. Almost, look at that, getting on the ground. Almost forcing the turnover. He's an interesting player, Lee. He sometimes struggles to keep hold of the ball, but then he gets it back. And then when the other team has it, he gets on the ground and almost gets it.
There's times where you wonder whether he's in control of some of his limbs at times. He seems to be a little bit chaotic, but it seems to pay off on the defensive end. He's hustling hard. He's getting his hands into people's dribbles. So, yeah, it's paying off on that end. Maybe a little bit more control on the offensive end. And
it feels like he's kind of scrambling constantly.
Yeah.
I think Heo's more the starting guard, but he plays so hard he can only last for so long.
Yeah.
Chance of China, who trailing by 6 points now in Korea, and they force the turnover, the 24-second shot clock violation.
And this has been the thing that's most impressed me about Korea today is on the defensive end. It is that they're sticking to that hustle. They're not running it for 5-6 seconds of an offense or running it for a few minutes here and there. It's just almost branded on them now. This is how we're going to play the game at that end of the floor, and they're sticking to it, and it's paying off. They lead by 6.
Fu back in, number 27 for China, guarding the ball. Three-pointer. Look at the hustle from Kang yet again, crashing the boards.
And this is the other thing with that defensive intensity, it goes throughout the team. Every player that comes on the floor knows what the expectation is now on the defensive end, how they're going to approach it.
So Kang, he had that beautiful trip to the line a few minutes ago where he made both free throws, but then he missed that layup. And here he is again at the free throw line, and he rattles it in and goes, whoo, that was close.
Certainly a big sigh of relief, that's for sure. But what a quarter for Korea, holding China to just 12 points so far with only 10 seconds to go.
So again, Chinese Taipei also in this group, as well as Bahrain. They'll be watching this with interest, hoping that these guys have to play as hard as possible the rest of the night. So they'll be exhausted next time out. And they get it down, and they finally, with a putback, get a layup. And Choi, I think, just holds on to it at the end. Well, good determination from China, getting that last drive. Hu Ming-shin. Even so, it's Korea on top, 65-59 over China at the end of three quarters. Korea was still 2 threes less.
But it's interesting, the scoring pace has considerably dropped off. China in that quarter only scoring 14, Korea only scoring 22, so it's not quite at the same pace. The defense is starting to pick up now as we're starting to see more tired players. Defense is paying bigger dividends.
Would you say they're playing this game at 2 speeds? Fast and faster?
Yeah, a little bit at the moment. And lack of control and almost no control at times to a certain degree, but it's providing a great entertaining 4th game of the day here on day 1, and it's perfectly balanced. You know, Korea had the better of that 3rd quarter. They hold a 6-point lead, but there's no way you would say at the moment they control the game.
But I think if you're going to be successful in international basketball, you got to play at this pace against the good teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to have this in your locker. You have to be able to be honest, you have to be able to have this pace, but you also have to have the ability to read the game and go, okay, it's time for us to slow it down. We're, you know, in this situation where they're relying in heavily on one particular player for Korea's perspective, maybe we want to take a couple of minutes, slow the pace down so we can gain some, you know, some respite during the game. But you're absolutely right. Having the ability to run at the highest pace for prolonged periods of time is a necessity in you know, this day and age for this elite level of global basketball.
Well, I really like that stat about points off the bench and the contributions. And it just goes to show you in this game how crucial it's been for both teams. 24 for China, 22 for Korea. Wow. And that time it was China with a little bit of a hop. Son. And he was able to get rid of it just in time. Fan Zemming, he crashes the boards. He gets swatted. And a whistle blows a foul. I tell you what, this number 31 for Korea has got some real potential. Look at that. Blocking big Fan Zemming. And Fan Zemming is not a small man, 2.10 meters in height, 6'11". Plays with the Beijing Bucks.
And for me, how far Korea can go in this tournament is going to be defined by when Ra's not on the floor. So how do they react now? What is their offensive strategy now? Defensively, how do they lock out that front court? Who protects the rim for them is going to really define how far Korea can go in this tournament, because they can't lean on him for 35 to 40 minutes every game in this tournament. It's just not going to be possible. If they do, his production is going to fall off when it gets to the big games.
Sure. Well, Zhang is in now. Kang is in, and also Choi's pretty big. And boy, that was a huge shirt tug by He from China on Choi. Look at this. They are letting him play, and getting in and scoring is Kang. So to answer your question, at least right now.
And that's the key, you know, and I think their new identity, this high pace and a little bit more direct and aggressive, helps them in this situation.
They've got their biggest lead of the game now, 7 points, Korea. Spinning and handing it off, and then a good block by Choi. But foul called, so he puts Fu Hao on the line. Look at this. Oh. Now, why is he complaining?
Yeah, no,
that he
there's
didn't
nothing
foul?
to complain about there. He didn't even get the ball.
Absolutely hammered him on the left, well below the left wrist.
I think on the last one they can have a gripe. On that one, absolutely not. That's literally a textbook foul.
They should have some type of penalty that's awarded when the video referee looks at it and says it's a blatant foul and he's complaining. That's a technical.
Yeah. It's a quarter of a technical, 4 of them, and yeah, you get a free throw.
Oh, nice shooting, Tex.
Not the prettiest of forms, but it does the job. And those fine margins now really going to come into play. Every free throw, every opportunity will have a big impact on the result.
Boy, that went in and out. And look, suddenly asserting himself is Fu Hao. Sun for 3. China, here they come again. The lead was 7. Now just 2. A lot of self-belief in that Chinese team.
Yeah, and the swing again, we've gone from a hyper-confident Korean team to now a hyper-confident Chinese team, and this has just been another, you know, joy of a basketball game as both these teams evenly matched, just going toe-to-toe for the full 40 minutes.
파울이 나오더라도 볼 프레셔해. 이벤트 할 때 봐 프레셔. 흔드는 거 겁내지 말고 옆에서 저기 다 도와주고 뒤에서 다 도와주잖아. 걱정하지 말고 강하게 볼 프레셔 해주라고. 겁내지 말고.
Well, that's straight to your point, Mark. Ball pressure.
Yeah,
if they're going to do it, it's got to be on the defensive end. And again, Raguna here, we're looking at a highlights. And guess what? He's checking back into the game with 8:32 remaining.
And I imagine they'll look for him now to play through for the rest of the game. It's a big ask. He's put in a lot of minutes already. There's a fair few miles on the body from today's game. But he's, you know, second half, he's stepped up. He's been more aggressive. He's been more influential on the offensive end. So they'll look to lean on him again. Trying to sort the clock situation out at the moment. I don't think they're ready to start the shot clock. But yeah, for Korea right now, as much as they want to expel energy on the offensive end, they cannot give up on this defense that they've set their stall out on. That's what's going to keep them, you know, either ahead or at least in this game to the business end where they can decide who wins it. You know, that last possession, giving that much space on the perimeter to pretty much any of the Chinese players is going to cost you.
It's even in the stands. You're hearing the China chants, and then all of a sudden the Koreans start going at him. It's a real back and forth affair. Oh, Song, offensive foul. Yep. Kind of cleared out with his left arm.
We've seen so many offensive foul calls in today's game as both teams play such abrupt defense. There's no space. They're giving no separation, even more so on inbound plays.
Toughest part of the game right here. 8 minutes and change remaining. Stepping back. And Raguna is not giving up on that. And fortunately for Korea, it goes off of Jai's hands and into Lee's hands. Lee over to Kang on the baseline. Well, he's got a nice, not just at the free throw line, he can hit that baseline jumper.
He's done a good job so far, up to 8 points. He's come in and certainly put a shift in.
Jing puts it up from 3. And Lee chases it down. 3-on-2 break. And Song lays it up. I thought he might almost travel. And what an answer for Korea. Just when it seemed that China.
But it's been the way the whole game, right? As soon as any team turns to take any form of control of the game, the other team just step up a gear and fight their way back into it.
That was a great find, and there's an open Kang on the baseline. I like how he plays. He's kind of like, he hustles to the ball. He's kind of chaotic, but effectively wild, so to speak.
Absolutely, and it's difficult to guard against that. It's difficult to go up against that.
I like Sun too. Here he goes. Has it taken away though. Now Choi, quick pass, and Kang there, and the follow, but they called the foul before. It's probably one time when Korea wished they did not blow the whistle.
Yeah, the first time the refs are going to get complained.
Oh, they had to call that.
Yeah, clearly a foul.
Zhao Rui really hacks him. Watch this. Whack. Oh. And not wanting to jinx him, but this is the man that you want at the line, Kang, and he makes the first. So once again, Korea go up by 7.
They're certainly, they've done a phenomenal job on putting themselves into this game and putting themselves in contention. You know, prior to the game and prior to the tournament, you would have said, yeah, it'll be a good game, but China should win this one reasonably easy. And Korea have just come out and said, I'm afraid not. This is a new look Korea.
Yeah,
they're going to come in a different way.
It's a new approach Korea more than anything. They have changed their style. Three-point shot. Song bats it, fine, rebounds it. China know they cannot fall any further behind. Lee chasing it. Jai puts it up from the line, and look at China get it back. Sun, so many chances. And that's just, they want it more. Kang didn't even go for the basketball. They still miss it. And fans score, and Korea just has to do better. They gave away, what, 7 or 8 chances?
Yeah, they did, and the problem they've got now is it does look like, have they got enough energy left for this? You've got key players that have been on the court an awful long time in this game. Are they still having enough to chase out those shots until it comes down?
And wow, the basketball turns over. And here it's going to go back in for Lee.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move from Coach Chu. But it feels like it's going to come down to which set of players, which group of players are going to come together in this pressure moment and just keep their heads, keep to the game plan, keep the intensity, run through that fatigue to close out the win.
China now have more rebounds. That's how many rebounds they had on the last trip down. There was several behind. Zhao Rui rims out, and finally, Kang goes up and gets a rebound for Korea. I think China would be able to bounce back if they were not to win this game, but I think it'd be a really tough loss for Korea.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Emotionally.
Yeah, I think
we spent so much energy and we didn't win.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger place to come back from for Korea than it would be for China.
Guna has to pass it out to Kang for three. How huge has he been? The X Factor. Kang, number 26 for Korea. 13 points.
That's madness. He's really stepped up and taken a big role in this game. No one saw it coming from him, and at the most critical times as well, he's really, you know, taken the pressure on his shoulders and taken the game on his shoulders.
Tough drive, Zhao Rui, but doesn't finish. Kang didn't even play in the first half. So, kind of the secret weapon has been unleashed. Here he is. Guna to the other wing. Heo steps into a three. Fan with the rebound. 4.5 minutes remaining. Sun explodes to the other end and gets the layup.
And that's the problem they've got now. Guna hasn't tried to play transition defense there. He didn't go for the offensive rebound at the other end. He's walking up the floor super slowly now. Have they used him too soon, too early?
Well, they've still got a 7-point lead if they can get a basket here. China scrapping to get it to Guna. He banks it in. Now he's got a little extra bounce in his step. Oh, but not enough. Oh, and China had a wide open layup. Thought I had my first basketball of the tournament. And the cameraman kicked it away.
But it's now just down to down to the Korea players. They just have to leave everything on the floor.
That was a huge three by Kang.
Yeah, massive. But they've got to put everything on the floor now. A little under 4 minutes to play. They've got a rest day tomorrow. You can rejuvenate off the back of that. You've got to give it everything now.
His explosiveness is back, but he misses the shot. I mean, just both teams with so many misses on layups. And Guna can't bring it down. I think you're right about the energy for him on the boards.
I think it's just gone. I think his legs are like lead now.
Sun has it knocked away, though, and now Choi has it. And you get the feeling no need to rush, but they're going to take it. Well, had enough strength to get down the court.
It's amazing how many players have the energy to run transition in that direction, but not so much in that direction.
However, he is walking back to the bench. But look at this again. Gets out, and Choi, the quarterback, gets him the basketball. Biggest lead of the game, 11 points for Korea. How does China recover from this?
It's tough. 3 minutes 15 to play. It's a big ask, 11 points, especially as now Korea, you'd hope, would go into time management mode, start bleeding some of that clock down every time they get a possession.
Again, the three-pointer from Kang. And then this play with Guna. And of course, finishing things off with Guna getting ahead on the break. The pass from Choi.
China can't take their time now, although they're being slow bringing up over the half. They have to try and play this game at even more of a blistering pace, and Korea don't need to overcommit. That's a big mistake. I don't know why he dived for that. This is about playing safe basketball now. This is just purely about playing the numbers, playing the efficiency.
Lee Woo-suk Now Ra pulls his way, follows, stays with it, can't get it, Sun. And Sun behind the back. Well, that was a brave behind the back. And the good free throw shooter, Fu Hao, will go to the line.
Interesting to see this replay. Going in amongst the trees behind the back. Yeah, too much aggression. Wasn't enough control on the defense there, swinging across him.
A little better time to go with the behind the back pass than Chisholm's was earlier today for for Bahrain.
That's true. Try now out of the game though, that's his 5th.
So Song comes back in.
That's a big miss as well at this point of the game with 2.5 minutes still to play. He's a versatile player. He's a versatile player that they could do with at this point. He can provide some rim protection. He can hustle the boards hard.
Still got that gum, doesn't he?
He'll be chewing it hard now.
Wonder what flavor.
I don't think he's got any flavor at this point in the game.
They have
just need to bring it up over the half.
They have cut the deficit in half, or almost in half. Now 6 points is the lead for Korea. No lead is safe in this game. Hale bounce pass to Raguna. Bumped. And
sideline possession with a fresh 14.
Yeah, it's just a 3rd team foul.
Yeah, my concern for Korea though is, yes, you want to clock manage, but you still need to be progressing towards some kind of shot attempt. You can't at this stage just run it down with no offense being built.
Kim Jong-kyu gets it to Hale, and then a reach.
Unless China keep doing that.
Hu Chen, very bad foul late in the shot clock. But I guess they're kind of gambling.
I don't think they need to. I really don't think they need to be gambling. The only thing I can think is they're trying to burn their fouls now so that they don't have to try and do it when they need to at the end of the game.
I think he's just going for the steal. Song back. And now he gets it. Nice little give and go.
That's great vision by Ra.
Ooh. And suddenly it looks safer again for Korea.
Now it truly is clock management. Just run the clock down, let them foul you. You can't spill it though, just hold on to it.
Look at the hustle back by Song. He almost took it right back. 1.5 minutes remaining. That's where China will, their best chance is if they pressure the ball in the backcourt. They're coming close to getting steals every time.
It truly is, and from Korea's perspective, they need point guards on the floor. They need as many guys that are comfortable handling the ball on the floor.
So Lee comes back in.
And realistically, you want to put it in Hyo's hands. That's where it should be going. He is the de facto point guard. It should be nowhere else.
Chang looking for space for 3. He puts it up. Oh, wow. They just refuse to quit, China.
That is an ice-cold shot. That really is. Off balance as well.
And now the chance of China start up again here in Jakarta. Song backing up down low. He's got Sung on his back. Then he gets it to Kim Jong-kyu. He goes up and he's fouled. Once again, Korea work it down low and it pays off.
That is a huge, huge play. And like you say, it's just the patience that they had in that play as well. As we see the replay of the 3, the ice-cold 3 from the top. But this game is the game that keeps giving, right? This is unbelievable. 40 minutes of back and forth. Neither team being able to wrestle control, and it's going to go to the wire.
You never know. Free throws like that don't go in could prove costly.
Really could.
Ooh. And, oh, wow. I think Sun was expecting a foul.
Yeah, for me, it's either a foul or it's Korea ball, I think.
Yeah. Kind of his arm draped over him.
It's the left arm that he has round his back. Tough for the officials to see, but that's the one that would look like a foul.
Well, they can look and see who it goes off of here,
Yeah.
so that's the right decision. But I fear for China because I think it went off of Sun.
Yeah, I think it clearly went off Sun. So
I think it's kind of like maybe they could have called the foul.
Yeah, it's one of those old school, in the old days, where you'd be like, that's a bit of a makeup call, because they kind of, yeah, we feel like it should be China ball.
Look at this.
Yeah, I think that's come off Sun's hand.
Is that not a foul?
Yeah, the left hand is pushing him around the back for me.
Man, you can't get them all right.
Oh, it's impossible. There's no way I would. They offered to swap with us earlier. I'm not taking them up on that.
They even out. They even out over the course of the game.
They absolutely do. There's no way at full pace any human being would be able to call
The
a
way
game
this game has
perfectly.
been played, China will now get a steal and get a three.
More than likely.
I would not be surprised.
For Korea, they just need to get that over the half.
Hey, clever move.
Split the defense well. Don't take the shot. Don't need to take the shot.
Well, these guys are going to sleep well tonight. They have burned everything. Both teams. Hell. Tough finish. Goodness me.
That is a way for Korea to close out this game. That is truly the way for them to close out this game. Just a tough nose.
He knows the defender's right there. He's got to extend the left hand.
What a game by Korea. This truly is one of the best games I think I've seen them play.
Up to a 10-point lead. China now, the clock, very definitely the enemy.
Yeah, they've got to go quick. They've got to go quick. And really, they've got to go with threes. Can't take their time.
Well, Korea put him on the line instead with 36 seconds left.
Much as there's still a 10-point lead, you don't want to say the game's over at this stage. I think we've learned from how this game has swung back and forth. China certainly have the ability to score points in a hurry. They've got plenty of backcourt players on the floor to shoot.
They definitely do. Both free throws good. And the Korean coaching staff not taking anything for granted.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they look to advance the ball off this as well. I think the coaches are trying to clarify they want it on the baseline. They don't want to advance the ball because they want to be able to burn the full 24 seconds. They don't want their shot clock being taken down to 14, which is understandable. But it also means if you do spill the ball, you're spilling it really close to giving points up in a hurry. But I think we're now at the stage, probably from China's perspective, you give it 1-2 seconds to try and steal it, and then you're going to foul pretty quickly. And the way that both teams have shot from the free throw line, that's not a bad strategy. Neither team have shot perfectly from the free throw line.
Let's go.
So they do advance the ball.
Interesting. They're willing to give up that 10 seconds. I presume they're making the judgment that they're going to get fouled anyway, and that they're never going to get to use those 10 seconds anyway. So if they are going to get fouled or potentially lose possession, they're going to lose it as far away from their own basket as possible.
Yeah, that could be. I guess it's, they look at it as more dangerous. They can run a play here. Oh no, he didn't get it in. That was a quick, well, they're saying that was a quick 5. 8 points. That China have come out smelling like a rose.
Yeah, that hurts. No time off the clock.
You definitely don't want to call a timeout and then have like a 5-second They're asking us our opinion. Just being honest, it did seem quick.
I went for the standard shrug of the shoulders. That's what I gave them.
I went with the hand on the head. Drive, basket,
That's
good.
a big score.
Huge play by Zhao Ray, and now the free throw shooting comes into play.
Yeah, and this is the key for Korea now, that wherever they put the ball, it has to be into the hands of better free throw shooters. They have good free throw shooters and not so good. Kang perfect, 6 from 6 from the line. Lee Woo-suk 2 from 2. Yao just 1 from 3 so far.
They still control their own destiny, and they make the first. Thing is, not much time going off the clock, so that works at least China. But China will, you would think, have to look for a 3 here. And Heo intercepts it. Now quickly up to Lee. Goes in. Great hustle back.
Phenomenal
The swat
defense
by Hu Ming-shin.
That's great transition defense. Just didn't give up on the play at all.
Yeah, it was.
Read that perfectly, timed it perfectly. It's difficult as a transition player in offense. You're almost like, should I put a pump fake in to try and throw defenders off, or am I better just trying to use my advantage?
Well, China has to foul if they don't get the steal, and they do. So Lee going to the line.
Just 2 from 4 so far from the line tonight. But maybe the pressure will help.
With 15.6 seconds, it's very close to being over.
Very close. I think realistically, if he hits both of these, that should be it done.
Hu Chun gets in, and he makes both.
Yeah,
So back to a 10-point game.
Yeah, it turns it into a 4-possession game. In 15.6, you're asking a lot.
Ra Guna comes out. 3-point shot, no good. And Korea, in a game of attrition, really is going to celebrate a big win. And you never know, you might need those points. I'm surprised Kim Jong-kyu decided he had a decision to make. He just got to score. And anyway, that's it, folks. Korea win it. 93-81, a real battle against China here to close the opening day at the FIBA Asia Cup.
Absolutely blown away, really, by that performance from Korea. You always come into these Korea-China games, you think they're going to be close, they're going to be a good battle, but you always feel that China almost have a psychological edge over Korea. And just today, they just swapped up. Korea came in with a very different mindset. They approached the game in a very different way. And you can see from the shooting statistics, it paid dividends. They pushed China into lower shooting percentages. They won the rebounding battle. They played great team offense, 22 assists for their 93 points. And the defense paid dividends, 10 steals there for Korea.
Well, how many lead changes in the end were there? 17. Korea.
That's a game. The biggest lead at any point, I think, was just about double digits, wasn't it?
I mean, Korea, this is a win that really is something they can build on in this competition. And it's like you said, are they going to have enough fuel in the tank by the end of the competition to be able to compete if they have to play like that every time? But that's really the only way you can play China. And if you're going to beat China, you have to give it. You would suggest in their next couple of games, I mean, Chinese Taipei are going to be difficult opponents, and if Bahrain can put it together, they would be as too. But I don't think either of those teams would give them more of a game than that.
No, they by far and away that this should be their toughest game in the group stage. And if you flip it to the other side and look at China, how big is that game against Chinese Taipei on the last day of the group now? you know, that becomes a huge game. You know, it already carries emotion with it and passion with it, just historically that tie. You now put it in that it potentially will change where, or even if either of those teams qualify, it definitely will change where they will qualify and who they'll face in the next round and how difficult their task will be. So, yeah, the game tonight has really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons in this group.
So really a terrific fight offered by China tonight as well. Let's don't, you know, they didn't win in the end, but I think you have to tip your hat to Korea, because it just feels like this was a type of Korean performance that, especially against China, that maybe we haven't seen. And they came here clearly focused, ready for they knew they were going to have a hard game, and they were willing to dedicate themselves to a hard game for 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I think they would have taken China by surprise. I don't think China was expecting that type of a game. So they've come prepared for a very different confrontation. And obviously it would take you time to adjust to that. But like you say, all credit goes to China as well. As you see, they're playing to the final buzzer. They did not step down at all. At no point in that game did either team step away from the challenge. And that's what enabled us to have such an amazing game here today.
Well, 102-84, Chinese Taipei started things off with an impressive win over Bahrain, and now Korea have concluded the opening day festivities with a 93-81 win over China. So that's it, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back at it tomorrow here in Jakarta, Indonesia.